All right, awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our Power Hour today on May 11th. And we're so excited to have this time to work together this week. We're going to focus on inviting to a pop-up if you've got a pop-up this week or this month. And then also, of course, some goal setting. We always do that. What is a week without goal setting? We have to have those, or else we don't even know what we're doing, right? And then we're also going to be inviting to our live event this week, which is our virtual glow up or masterclass. Now, with that being said, if you have other events, we do have our additional calls. We've got them always Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. So make sure that those are also on your radar because it's possible that, of course, your prospects might be able to attend one of those rather than our masterclass. But we're going to focus today mostly on, of course, inviting, just inviting in general, but inviting to our masterclass. So first, I want you guys to light up the chat. It's always so good to hear from you. I know we had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend, but did you have any other wins? And honestly, you could even share what you did for Mother's Day. It would be fun to celebrate that as well. But I'd love to hear a shout out about what you did, or maybe somebody on your team. If you've got something special to share, I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to jump in the chat. So. Jamie, you went to Bruno Mars concert this weekend. Are you serious? That is so cool. I bet that was amazing. Spend time with family and your 2-year-old grandson from Jerry. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Jerry. Nicole had some couch time with family, her parents watching lacrosse. It was perfect. That sounds perfect. Jamie, oh my gosh, I'm definitely gonna have to check your socials, assuming that you shared some fun things. Sandra made my mom tacos and homemade apple pie. I love that. Elaine celebrated my daughter's 21st birthday. That's a big birthday. That's fantastic. Joined a networking group. Awesome. Oh yeah, BNI. I've been in their groups several times over the years. Um, got a sound bath on the beach. That sounds like heaven. Oh my gosh, that sounds so nice. Sharon celebrated her, oh my gosh, 92-year-old mom. Oh gosh, what a blessing. She's out of the emergency room. That's amazing. We celebrated with my mom as well, who is 89. And we did that on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I got to not have to do one thing in the kitchen. I had steak and lobster made for me, which was nice. And then we went to The Devil Wears Prada too. Yeah. So that was super fun. That's what we did this weekend. All right, awesome, you guys. Well, now that we're celebrating each other and lots of shout outs, let's um let's start off our morning with a little personal development before we dive into work. So I'm sure most of you by now have heard of this amazing woman right here. She's a best-selling author, you know, probably one of the top podcasters, at least in my opinion. I love her, Mel Robbins. I had the honor of seeing her speak years and years and years ago before she was very big. And since then, she covers kind of every topic. But I picked this one because it really speaks to how important it is to set yourself off with a solid goal, vision. And so we're going to hear from her and then we'll dive into some of our working time.
Decide what you want and write it down. And now you're going to be like Captain Freaking Obvious. Decide what you want and write it down. Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, this is the rule that almost everybody misses because you manage your goals in your head. And think about it. You can't hit a target that you don't see. I remember Oprah once.
Here, hold on, you
Somebody asked
guys.
her,
I'm so sorry. We've got people in the waiting room and my screen's not letting me let them in. So hold on one second. All right. I think we've got everyone in. Sorry about that. I'm going to start this over. Okay. So this is Mel Robbins. If you guys know her, we're just going to play a short video before we get started.
Decide what you want and write it down. And now you're going to be like Captain Freaking Obvious. Decide what you want and write it down. Yeah. Believe it or not, this is the rule that almost everybody misses because you manage your goals in your head. And think about it. You can't hit a target that you don't see. I remember Oprah once, somebody asked her, Oprah, why do you think so many people get stuck? Her answer, because most people never take the time to get clear about what they want. So if you can't get clear with yourself, if you don't know what's important, you're going to get swallowed up by everything else. You know how I always say, if everything's important, nothing is? If you don't declare what's important, nothing will seem important in your life. The late Dr. Jim Doty, who is the renowned Stanford neurosurgeon and neuroscientist, has done extensive research on what happens when you name what you want, when you write it down, and then when you add in one other thing that I'm about to explain to you. In neuroscience, it's called Hebbian learning. What fires together, wires together. And Dr. Doty explained that the fastest way for you to wire in the importance of this goal is to bring online as many sensory systems as you can, like smell and taste and emotion. Dr. Doty said, if you have a goal, he wants you to take a pencil. I'm holding a pen, it doesn't matter. You take a pencil, you write it down. And when you're writing it down, you're doing something physical, tactile. Then you're going to read it silently to yourself. So you look down and you read it silently. Then you read it out loud. Okay? You're going to volunteer for hospice. You're going to write that book. You're going to put yourself back out there and meet the love of your life. Then you visualize and you ask how you can get certified to volunteer. And then you visualize yourself going to the meeting. And then you visualize yourself driving the meals or sitting bedside with somebody. And see what you want in your imagination. And as you do this, your brain builds the circuitry to make it easier in real life. So you're not just thinking about it anymore. You have encoded it into your brain. And now your brain's like, oh yeah, we're doing this. We think, like, I can visualize doing this. You see how powerful this is?
Okay, awesome. So we have heard this a million times, right? But it never gets old. I still learn every single time something new. And I think that with that research, it just backs up what we know about writing it down and declaring it. And I heard actually Dr. Brimka trained on this not that long ago when she said that somehow though in network marketing we've kind of taken the declaring it a little far in a way, right? So we're not, when you declare it like Dr. Doty says, you're declaring it to yourself. You're going to write it down, you're going to read it to yourself. You don't need to make these big claims, like don't shout it out to everybody online or shout it out to your entire, community, because that actually changes something in your brain chemistry. It actually gives you the dopamine hit that you would have once you achieve it. So you don't want to do that. You want to actually write it down, read it to yourself, and that's when the magic happens because you're getting your nervous system to visualize the goal and feel it here before it's out here. So we're going to take just a couple of minutes to name what you want this week. We're going to start with a very, simple goal of the next 7 days. What do you want? So I want you to lead with belief in yourself and write down right now, what is your goal? Is it to get into the Bousee Boo Club 5, 10, 15, 20? Is it to have 5 new people on Thursday nights call? What about sponsoring 2 new people this week, or 1 new people, or one new person, or 5 new people? Or have you not hosted a pop-up in a while? Do you want to do that, or do you want to maybe have a customer do it? So let's write down some goals. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to do that, and we'll be right back. Okay. Do you guys have your goals written down? Do you feel good about them? Okay. Awesome. All right. So this week, as you guys know, we have our replay from Tuesday night that you can send at any time. We're doing those every first Tuesday of the month. So we're going to be focusing on the live call that is happening this Thursday. And you know how everything has customer reviews, you guys, like every single time you buy a product on Amazon, at least I know I do, but do you guys go to the customer reviews? Yes, no, sometimes, pretty much all the time. Yeah. So, Jamie and I are going to be focusing on our customer reviews because we know we have 5 stars. Every single time that we share this with somebody, what do we get all the time? Like, oh my gosh, this is the best ever. My skin is changing before my eyes. My makeup's going on smoother. So, we are going to have several customers, real customers of Jamie's, of mine, come on and do like a rapid fire customer review on our masterclass. So we're really excited about this because this is going to be great, right? Anybody that you get on to Thursday night, they're not only going to hear from Jamie and I, and we're going to do a live demo, but they're going to hear from customers, real customers in real time. Just the review that they would be typing, they're going to be saying it on this masterclass. So this is your guys' chance, you guys. If there's somebody that has been on the fence, they're like giving you guys some pushback, this would be the one for them because they would hear from so much third party that they cannot say no to you. If it's a brand new person that you're just talking to this week, another perfect time to invite them because it's going to be great. I'm super excited about this. And we're not gonna like we're also gonna keep it pretty like concise so that you guys can comfortably have people on. They're gonna get all the information, but it's gonna be a very to the point masterclass. So very excited about this event. 7 o'clock Central Time. Okay, so be sure to invite as many people as you can this week. So, of course, I love the memory jogger because it just helps you get out of even your list that you are thinking about. So, is there somebody that you haven't written down that you know would be, a perfect candidate for this? Somebody who cares about their skin, already has good skin, maybe somebody who has been struggling and, they've posted a couple of things that you've seen or you've had conversations with them. The closest people to you that are using Remon, or what about the ones that haven't started yet? So make sure you write down as many people as you can because that will help you with your goal. If you put a goal of like having 5 people or having, however many people you wanted on that masterclass, whatever your goal was, you need a bigger list to be sure that you get a higher attendance. Okay, so keeping with Mel Robbins' coaching, she taught a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, which basically just means take action right away. And so here's a couple of example scripts. I will leave these up here as we start doing a little bit of inviting. So I'm going to give us a good 5 minutes to focus on inviting to the Thursday night. All right, here we go. Stephanie, thank you for putting the scripts in the chats. I was just working on how to do that, so I appreciate you. When I'm on my phone, I can do it very easily, but I appreciate that so much. And keep in mind when you're inviting, you don't want to say too much, right? You want to keep the curiosity there. It's just like I shared with you guys, we went to a movie. I don't know about you guys, but the previews lately, it shows way too much, way too much. I like short previews because that makes me want to go see a movie. So you got to think the same thing when you're inviting somebody. When they ask you questions, don't get caught in the trap of answering everything. My favorite response when someone asks me a question is I say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that. We're actually going to be covering that on Thursday night." So instead of getting into, "Oh, well, it's this and it's that and da da da," I'm so glad you asked that. You know what? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. So you just lead them to the event, lead them to the event. And I say lead them because, you know, I hear this a lot too. And I know you might even catch yourself saying it like, oh, I don't want to be pressury, or I don't want to sell too much, or I don't want to, be whatever, insert the word. You're not. When you take a confidence of this is going to be fun. You're going to want to check this out. When you know what you have your hands on, you're going to lead with confidence. And that's what people really want. When they're asking you a question, they actually want you to lead them to what it is that you're trying to get them to do anyway. So you just need to take that mindset and you will have great results. Okay, we're going to finish up just one more minute on this. And then we're going to move to our next section. Thank you, Nicole, for putting that link in there. So in the chat, there's the link directly for Thursday night. So you can have that to share when you're inviting as well. Awesome. You guys are the best. What would I do without you? Okay, so let's move to some follow-up before we go into our next section. Who last week? We obviously we've been focusing on new people, but what about last week? What about the people over the weekend? Have you followed up with people who bought the Mother's Day promo? This would be a great time because now you can actually lead with how was your Mother's Day? I wanted to actually follow up about the Mother's Day pack that you bought. I know there's been a lot of questions about the brush that came with the one set. It is shipping out separately. So I'm actually, Nikki's not awake yet, or else I would, she might be awake, but she's definitely not online yet. Hopefully we'll have an update soon on when those are going out. But definitely spend some time, you guys. Let's spend a good, honestly, it takes more than 5 minutes, but I'm going to do 5 minutes on the clock to really focus on follow up. Um, Definitely be sure you're reaching out on people who have already ordered, who got on something last week that you haven't quite, circled up with yet, because that way you can get them on this week if maybe they didn't engage last week, or maybe they did, but they want to see another one. So let's do that and keep it light and fun, light and fun, light and fun. Like, life is busy, you're popping back in because you want them to be excited about getting on your next event. Okay, here we go. Following up. There you go, Jerry. I put them in the chat for you. I just had to stop share in order to do it. All right, you guys keep going and I'll be right back. So we're focusing on following up.
Hey, Susan, you are muted.
Thank you. I thought that I took myself off before I put this back on there. Okay. So, let's go ahead and finish up follow-up. And you may have some additional follow-up to do. So you can absolutely stay on that if that's what you need to do. But I also want to put some social media into this hour of working because I know a lot of you are, changing up some things on Instagram on your posts. Christy did an amazing training last week on the Power Hour and on Monday night. So you may already have some things in the works from that training. So let's do a little bit focused on social media. You can pick a story, a reel. Christy talked about how carousels are back in on Instagram. So there's some really good ideas there. But here's a couple of things that you can use or keep with what you guys have obviously in the works right now. But let's spend a little bit of time on planning your week, just a little bit of the social media aspect in there. Let's go ahead and put that into our day as well. So I will start the timer and I'll be sure to take myself off of mute next time. Thank you. Okay, you guys, you're doing amazing. So, we're going to talk a little bit about truly leading with more of the opportunity. You guys, I can't even like, I feel like it's everywhere. And even on the movie that we watched last night. So, we went to Devil Wears Prada 2. There's this overwhelming kind of like, not overwhelming. There's this like, what am I trying to say? Like the dialogue is about AI. The overall kind of theme is about how things are changing and how people's jobs are shifting. And of course, as you can imagine, if you watched that movie, 20 years ago, it was about the magazine, the world, and that was very, very prevalent. But now everything's online and it's changing, it's different. It's not what it used to be. People aren't picking up a fashion magazine like they used to. And so that movie talked, again, it was like the overall theme was about how AI is shifting things and changing things. And they even said it's happening in every industry, from, lawyers to doctors' offices. It's everywhere. And so I think that really hits home when you are thinking about our business and how many people truly are looking for additional income. And I would tell you, some of them don't even know that they're looking for additional income because they don't know what's around the corner. Um, but you have the answer. You have something that, yes, AI is shifting things for us in ways of making our lives easier. We can utilize it for making sharpening our skills, but our industry is still person to person. It is all about community. It's all about having a position with a company that is about marketing a product where you don't have to, worry about getting cut out of that equation. That's actually exactly why this industry has been around for 100 plus years, is it's about empowering people to be the marketing, right? So I just want you guys to think about that when you're having conversations and maybe even incorporating some of that into your social media strategy, because there is a lot of fear out there right now of, oh my gosh, is my job going to be here in another month or 6 months or another year? Um, so this is really something that you can be the answer for people. They're looking for ways to create that additional income. And what I love is that we can talk about it in ways that's like, you don't have to quit your life. This isn't quit your job, quit your life and come to Remon. This is, you keep doing what you're doing, but you have an opportunity to partner with a K beauty brand, a huge, huge segment of the industry. It's growing exponentially in the beauty industry, right? K beauty is popping up for a reason. And so they get to be with the most, amazing company with the best results, the number one search for brand, and they can create an income stream without adding another full-time job, without having to, quit what they're doing with their family, or if they're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe they, have another business. They can create that with us. Real estate agents, mortgage business, like those are really, really good people to talk to as well, because that industry is it's struggling, right? So definitely put a little bit of extra emphasis. We talk a lot about customers. Obviously, we've got this incredible Boo Say Boo Club that is so much fun. And it's all about customers, which is fantastic. But I also want you guys to spend a little bit of time focused on the business, because there's no better time than right now, honestly. Like, people are really feeling this. So don't be afraid to step forward and have that conversation with them. So let's set a little bit of time on the clock to get some of these conversations going. And I can put this in the chat too. Give me a second. Okay, we are almost at the top of the hour, so give yourself some minute to finish up what you're doing, and then I've got one last challenge for you before we end the Zoom today. And while you're wrapping up, if you want to share a couple of wins from our hour together in the chat, that is always so inspiring. I always love seeing, because I can tell you guys have been working really hard today, which is so awesome. So, um, yeah, what was your biggest win from today? Did you get your invites out? Did you set some new goals? Did you think of something new that maybe you haven't thought of yet? Share, share, share if you're willing to. Or maybe you're just still working. You're working away. Okay, so last challenge before we end. I know some of you guys have maybe done this with me before, but I feel like there's some new faces on here, so I'm excited to share this with you. Video, we all know how powerful video is, right? Like that's why obviously social media is so powerful. But we're still calling and we're still texting people, okay? Sometimes we're even emailing people. So think about how can you incorporate more video in your outreach. And you can do a video text message. So that's going to be the challenge. I'm going to challenge you to do one video text message to somebody before the top of the hour. So we have exactly 3 minutes, which you can do it. It's super easy. I'm going to show you how. You go to your messages and okay, my friend Sarah, her and I are doing an event this week, but I'm gonna follow up with her. I haven't followed up with her because she bought a Mother's Day pack. So I'm gonna pick her right now. You go to your messages like as if you're gonna text her, but you're gonna hit camera. And once the camera opens, you actually hit video, and then you can flip your camera around so that you're videoing yourself. And I'm gonna send her a quick message following up on her products, and then I'm going to hit send. That's it. So everybody pick one person. You're either going to invite them, you're going to follow up with them, you're going to maybe you're brand new, haven't even talked to them yet. You're going to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to connect with you. I would love to, get in touch with you about what I'm working on or whatever, some of the scripts that we had, but one person in the next now 2 minutes. Okay. So everybody do one video message. Ready, set. Great job, you guys. Sharon, it was cool because I got to see you doing yours. And Mary, I can tell you're working on yours. You know how there's that, yeah, there's that message or that saying like do it messy. Like just it honestly, no one is thinking about what your hair looks like. Like no one's thinking about that. They're just like, oh, I got a video message. Like that's the coolest. So watch what happens. That one person will get back to you and be like, hey, I didn't even know you could do a video message. That was so cool. So it's different and it's a video and it's like, you know how when you do a voice text, they can hear your excitement. With a video message, they get to hear your excitement, see your excitement. It's all the sensory. So I just would challenge you guys to keep going with that this week. Have fun doing some video messages. It can be really impactful. So, all right, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining tonight. We'll see you all on Thursday night at our masterclass. And I hope you have a fantastic week with Riemann and with everything. So, you guys are amazing. Have a great day.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Nicole.